Okay, so now you log in to CoSpaces Edu, and then you can see that you have a free play section here. So you go to free play, you go to create CoSpace, an empty scene, because you're just going to look at the library, and then you look at this whole list of available characters together, and you will decide who will be represented by which character. So if you want to look at them more closely, you can drag them here, you can make them bigger, and then you can also double click them and change their appearance. So you will do that for every character that you will need to put in your spaces. And then as a group, you will decide who will make screenshots of the characters and who will post them to the Padlet along with their names. So in order to make a screenshot, the easiest way on a Windows computer is the Windows key, Shift key, and S. And then you can see that you can make a screenshot, which will be copied to your clipboard. And then you go to Project 3 to the Padlet, and then you click on plus. You enter a name for the character, and then you just click here and you use Control V in order to paste the picture from the clipboard. And then if you want to add character traits in the description here. So for example, you say, she's very nice. And then you publish, and you can see that you have her name, you have a picture, and you have her qualities. And then finally, the last thing you will do is that you will look at this example. It is in French, but it doesn't matter. It shows you what a novel in VR can look like. So you click here, and then you can see that it's loading, and you can look at that novel. And as you can see here, you have the chapters, and you can pick any chapter that you want, which is going to load, and then you can see all the things you can do. Once you've done all that, you go to classes, you go to Project 3, you pick the right task, which is this one, and then you will find chapters here, so all the chapters of your literary work. You have to be careful not to work at the same time in a scene, because sometimes changes of one person get overwritten because of a bad internet connection. So everybody has their own scene. And then you find your chapter. You go into your chapter. So in this case, I'm just going to show you that with an empty space. And you add your first name here. So this would say chapter 1, Steffi. And then first of all, you go to upload and you upload all the images you need for illustration of cultural differences. So for example, I'll just pick one at random because I want to show you how you edit attribution. So once you've uploaded your photos, you go to the 3 dots and then you pick edit attribution and you enter a title, a creator, and a license title. So for example, in this case, it's a picture from Pixabay and I will call it Cat. The creator is Kyrgyz03 and here it's a Pixabay license. And then I also check this box and that's it for that part. If you use your own photos, that's fine. Then you just name yourself as the creator. Just use your first name, that's enough. And then you pick a license that you like. I would suggest CC by SA. And then the next thing you will do is you build your scene, so your chapter, using all the characters that you decided on earlier. And you can also use all the other objects to make a visual representation of your chapter and of what happens. So there are a few things you can add. So for example, if you have a character, you can activate coding. So you can say using coblocks. You can add animations, but I would suggest that you do that with coblocks, so with coding and not with this here, because they will always repeat that animation. And then if you customize your characters before, and if you decided on customizing the characters, you can do that here. And in the coding section, you have a lot of options. So you click here on coblocks, and then you can see here you have settings, beginner coblocks or advanced coblocks. Just activate the advanced ones because there are a few more blocks. And then you can see that when play is clicked, so once somebody hits this play button, you have actions and events. So for example, you can say when casual girl, and you would actually give her a name. So let's say she's called Tina in the book. So you say when Tina is clicked, you want something to happen. So it can either be that she thinks or says something in a speech bubble, or she can actually say something with your voice. That's all up to you. You do what you want, as long as it corresponds to the book, of course. And you can also add, for example, like panels with text, and then you can add, for instance, if, and then you double click it, you code it, and you say info box, and then you can say if the info box is clicked, you want a panel to show up, so an info panel. And you can also add a quiz panel if you want to, but actually for the book I don't think you need quiz panels really. The info panel, or maybe again a sound or a video that you would like to show. It all depends on your book and your chapter. And once you've built your scene, once you're all done, you go to environment and you edit the background sound. So you click here, and then you upload the diary entry that we recorded with Vocaroo. Beforehand, you upload that, and that means that once somebody starts the scene, it will automatically play that background sound. What you can also do is add music files or artwork that you created in order to illustrate something. That's completely up to you as well. Just make sure that when you upload, you will edit attribution for either sound, videos, or images. And then there's a few more things that you need to do. First of all, there will be a feedback scene at the end. So you click in that feedback scene and you add a character that represents you as the reader. You give them your first name. You activate coding for them. And then you will record your prepared feedback as an audio file here using the record button, and you name the file using your name and feedback, and then you program the character so they play the audio file when clicked. So you go here, and as an event, when Steffi is clicked, you want to play a sound, and then you pick the sound that you just recorded. And then you go to the question scene, you add the same character that represents you, you give it your name again, you activate coding, and then you record your prepared question for the author. And you program the character to play that audio file when clicked. There will be a sample code for that. Next, you will decide who will share your space. They go to share, give the space the name of the literary work, and then click share unlisted. And then they will take the share code here and go to the Padlet, post it here, our space, and the link. And then you can all look at the whole space, at the whole book that you recreated in the And then finally, you will leave a written feedback in German on the Padlet for at least one chapter that you like. And you will do that by clicking on plus. You will write the chapter and your name. And then you write something about the chapter that you like. Something that you might not like as much, so you can say, I wish that. And then you can add something like, how about? So that is a constructive suggestion how to make it better. And then you click publish and you will see the feedback here. And then others can comment on the feedback, or if that's your chapter, you can reply and say thank you, all in German, of course. And then finally, there's an optional part of the feedback. You can either leave feedback on the project as a whole, so record feedback for the project in German by recording an audio or a video file. You click on plus, 3 dots, and either video recorder or audio recorder. The last optional feedback task is that you make a screencast of one of the chapters. You do not pick your own, of course. You can either do that by using the screencast feature of the CoSpaces Edu app on your mobile device, or you can use the screencasting option in Padlet. So that would be here, the screen recorder. If you want to use the screencasting feature that Padlet offers, you click here on screen recorder, you install the Chrome extension, and then you go into your space. So you would basically pick your space here, you will click on play, and then you pick the chapter and you make your screencast. If you use the CoSpaces Edu app, you do the same thing, but with the little button that makes your recording, and then you crop the video to a 1:1 format, so a square format, and you add a voiceover using any video editing tool you want. You add your video to the merge cube that you can find in CoSpaces here. It's the feedback cube. And so what you would do is you upload your video, you added attribution, you give a title, your first name, and this license, and then you say showing shared CoSpaces credits. You take that video, you attach it to one side, and then you name it. So you do that, you activate coding, you stop autoplay, and then you go to the coding section and you just use this block when this image, or actually the video, is hovered. You want the video to play, and once somebody looks away, so stops hovering, the video will stop. And then once everybody added their feedback to that cube, ideally you fill the cube with videos that looks nicer. One of you can share it to the Padlet here. And for sharing, it's the best option to share and then download the QR code and copy that share code, and you add both to that post so people can actually look at the cube with their smartphones by scanning the code.